Good morning, guys. Thanks for coming back. This is week 18 weight loss update, and also I think it's day 13 carnivore update as well. Let's see, I started carnivore about 13 days ago, and I do have some updates on that. So we're about 2 weeks into carnivore, and we have some good, bad, and ugly to talk about today. So I definitely want to get into that a little bit in this video, and we're going to dive right down into the weight loss aspect of everything. Every morning I get up and yeah, my little buddy, my cat, she just loves to walk me to the scale first thing in the morning. She gets me up about 3:30, sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday of all things. But she's like, Daddy, get up, it's time to do your thing. So we get up in the morning, we head on over to the scale, and this week it's looking like I'm gonna be weighing in at about 327.4 pounds, which is 0.9 pounds down from last week, where I was weighing in at 328.3 pounds. So I did lose almost a pound this week on the carnivore diet, and I'm eating a lot more food than I'm used to eating. So yeah, a lot more proteins, a lot more fats. Been adding in some half and half to my coffee. A lot more butter than what I thought was even humanly imaginable for somebody to eat. But that butter will play a role, and I'll talk a little bit about that in just a second. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the ugly. Well, let's see, around Wednesday, I was starting to experience some minor constipation. Now that had me concerned, and that was also something I was kind of worried about, something that some of the commenters in a previous video warned me about, and something I was aware of from previous experience trying carnivore. Now, the things I did to remedy that is I started drinking some half and half straight out of the carton, and I also added a ton of extra butter to my routine. Now I do take some magnesium supplements. I believe they're 400 milligrams, or I mean, I'd probably have to go look at the bottle. But the thing is I just started doubling up on the magnesium, because that's basically all you need. That and more water intake really helps, me get over that hump. And the next day wasn't bad at all. Everything just moved out just fine. Another ugly aspect of carnivore, in my opinion, is I always feel full. I'm just constantly full. So it doesn't matter if I eat eggs or bacon or hamburgers or steak. I put that protein in there and I just have that full feeling. Now, for some of us, that full feeling is kind of nice. I don't like feeling full all the time anymore. Not like I used to. Before, I just kept eating and eating and eating and feeding that endless void that was just seemed like a bottomless pit. Like I mentioned in some other videos, that I could constantly eat pizza. Now, typically what we would do was order, 3 different styles of pizza from any pizza place in town. Now, we'd have the cheese pizza. Everybody liked a little bit of that. That's mainly for the children. And then we'd have a pepperoni pizza. My son loves the pepperoni pizza. And sometimes my girls like pepperoni on a rare occasion. But that's mainly for my son. And then me and the wife, we like the supreme pizzas with all the toppings on it, all the vegetables. So we'd order 3 pizzas, and automatically my plate was stacked with 1 slice of pizza from every pizza. So there's 3 slices of not so healthy pizza with regular pizza dough. It's not exactly the healthiest idea in the world, but that was, sometimes we do that 2 to 3 times a week, and that really didn't help with how I got to 435 pounds in the first place. So yeah, I'd eat those 3 slices of pizza, and then I would immediately go back for a minimum of 2 more slices of whatever type pizza I thought I felt like eating. So that's 5 slices of pizza. Now, when you look at an overall pizza, 5 slices of pizza is just about half a pizza, sometimes, if not a little more, depending on where you're ordering from and what size the pizza is. So yeah, I was doing a lot of damage. Now, to top that off, after we'd pack up all the pizza for the night, I would always like coming back later on. So we'd eat dinner about 5, 6 o'clock, and about 9 o'clock at night, I'd be right back in the kitchen, and I'd be sniffing out the pizza boxes. They're typically just sitting behind me on the stove. and I would eat another, sometimes 2 to 3 slices of pizza, but at minimum, it was usually one more slice of pizza. And it was kind of like in a ravenous way. It wasn't healthy. It wasn't a healthy mindset that I was using. So, I mean, it was almost like I was in a competition to see who could eat the most pizza because I wanted to eat it, uh, before everybody else could get it. So, yeah, a little bit of mind bender there. And, hopefully some of you can possibly relate to that as well. And maybe you can just think about what I'm talking about here, because it was almost like a dog eating out of a dog dish and another dog walks up. It was like, no, you can't have that. I'm just giving a for instance here. Now, another thing I was warned about, and something that happened like many years ago when I first tried carnivore. Uh, One of the viewers mentioned, just be careful of farts. Sometimes they're a surprise. That's no joke. Now with carnivore, we're lacking a lot of the, basic fibers and stuff like that that some vegetables provide. So, everything's a little bit loose down there, if that makes any sense. And I just have this annoying feeling when I go to work, like I'm just like I need to poop or I need to fart like constantly throughout the day. That doesn't really work that well with truck driving. So yeah, that's not exactly a thing that I want to feel every day. Now, I did kind of figure out a way to remedy that through the week, and that was with some of my weirdest ravenous cravings that I had this week. I was craving something different than what I normally craved in the past. And before, I was craving sugars and carbohydrates mainly. So I'd like want pizza dough, I'd want bread and want biscuits. Um, yeah, I just want, sugary snacks like Pop Tarts, the simple, easy snacks, or maybe a bag of potato chips. And those are things that I just completely got rid of in this process, and especially the process of fasting over the last, 17 to 18 weeks that I've been doing this. I've just got all the snacking completely out of the way. So when I go to work, I'm just going to work. I'm not snacking. I'm focused on drinking water. If I start to get hungry or, feel like I might want to dive out of a round of running around in my dump truck and hit up a holiday and grab something unhealthy, that habit is completely gone. So yeah, I've been trying to work on previous habits. We got smoking. Smoking's out of the way. So snacking's out of the way. Carbohydrates, high sugary foods. Um, that's completely out of the way now. That's been extremely helpful for this entire thing. And even on those days that I like to eat a little heavy, that's been helping with just keeping the weight under control. I don't have to worry so much about gaining weight. So if I should go out and eat something with, like, say, seed oils or something like that, immediately that would start causing inflammation in my legs. I would feel it. So I look at certain foods that created inflammation in the past, and I just completely avoid those things. I mean, it's not even something like, oh yeah, give me a Dorito. Nope. You know what? That's gonna make my feet hurt. It's gonna make me feel unhealthy. Now the same thing goes for my previous addiction to pizza. I look at a pizza, just a regular, pizza that comes from any of the pizza places, Costco, Papa John's, Pizza Hut, whatever pizza's available. Now, if that's a gluten style pizza that's traditionally made and sold in most of these pizza restaurants, I just look at it and it just gives me that feeling of uncomfortable feeling. So it's just not something I want to eat anymore because it just doesn't feel right. You know, all those years of eating pizza, and pizza's not the worst food in the world, in my opinion. There's a lot worse things out there, especially those foods that are, containing mystery ingredients like high fructose corn syrup, natural flavors, soybean oils, and other stuff like that. But it just makes me feel like garbage, and I'm tired of feeling like garbage. And so, I'm looking for, more nutrition in my life at this point. And so let's talk about the bad that I've been experiencing with carnivore. So far, I have been suffering with some extreme cravings, like some really weird extreme cravings, and they're weird because I don't normally crave these things. And the number one thing I was craving this week was vegetables. Now, I got to about Wednesday. That was about the time, yeah, my constipation was kicking in, so it was getting kind of annoying. And I don't know why. I was just ravenous for some mixed vegetables. The wife made some salmon. She had some mixed vegetables. Unfortunately, I didn't eat any of the salmon. I probably should have because of the omega-3s. So today I'll probably have to be tossing in some sardines into whatever I eat. But the vegetable cravings were kind of overwhelming. Thursday came around and I got home and I told the wife, I said, honey, I am just hungry. And that was strange because, you know, if I eat any meat at all, I'm just instantly full. But I was just hungry in a way where, I don't know, maybe I wanted some of the basic carbs that came out of the vegetable mix that we have. So in our vegetable mix that we usually buy, we have broccoli, cauliflower, some carrots, and I believe there's some squash mixed in there. It's a frozen mix that we get from Costco, and it's not fresh, but we live in Alaska. It's kind of hard to get fresh vegetables, and at times it's extremely expensive. So yeah, I had her make me one of those Costco cauliflower pizzas. Now, in all aspects, yeah, there's some nasty things in the ingredients of those cauliflower pizzas, but it's not wrecking the whole deal. That's one of the nice things I like about those. So if you're going to go like a slightly unhealthy option, one of those cauliflower pizzas is a great unhealthy option, even if you gorge yourself and eat the entire pizza. And that's just my opinion, guys. I know there's a lot of you out there that are just, you know, as clean as possible. And there's some of you that are just kind of sitting on the fence. You're doing a little bit of carnivore, you're doing a little bit of vegetables, maybe a small amount of carbs once in a while. And that's totally acceptable if that works for you. But I feel like in this process of trying carnivore, I need to have a little bit of mix in there, especially with the vegetables. I like the vegetables. I like broccoli. I love cauliflower. Carrots on time to time, and squash is one of my favorite. Now we got some like zucchini squashes. They're growing outside right now, and they're getting huge. It's been raining a lot this year, so some of them are getting ruined. We're getting some slug damage on some of our vegetables outside with you know, the carrots and stuff like that. So we're going to have to do some harvesting soon and hopefully get some fresh vegetables in the house. And the best vegetables here in Alaska are the ones that are grown in your front yard. Now, there's another aspect to carnivore that I've been noticing, and that's carnivore anxiety. Okay, so as we know, we have to think well in the future. Like, okay, this is my plan. You're going to have to plan out everything for the week. You're planning out your meals, you're planning out your budget, you're planning out the foods that you can afford. So you need to go out and you need to, you know, hopefully either purchase things in a relatively decent manner to make it throughout the entirety week, whether it's, you know, going out and getting steaks or going out and getting, you know, ground beef or hamburger. Because, you know, some of us, we work a really busy lifestyle. I mean, I'm working about 10 hours a day, but I'm away from the house for 13 to 14 hours most days. So that doesn't leave me a whole lot of time to actually just run to stores and stuff like that, let alone have the energy to run to a store, come home, make all this stuff. So a lot of these meals are going to be pre-made, and that's part of like prepping for carnivore. You're prepping for the week. You're trying to get through everything you need to do for the week. Make sure all your foods are stacked out. Your eggs are boiled, and that's a big one for me. I got to make sure eggs are boiled. Not only that, I got to make sure I have enough eggs to boil, and what I'm going to do with those eggs. And also, I need to leave enough eggs for the rest of the family. I can't just hoard all the eggs just for myself. I got to leave some for them. Let's talk about some of the good aspects that I've been having with carnivore this week. Now, it's almost like a day-to-day type situation where I'm driving a dump truck, guys. I drive around in a dump truck. I go around in circles. These rounds, they only take us about 15 minutes in either direction. So I'm running to the gravel pit and then I'm running straight back to the job site, dumping my load, vice versa, all day long. Now, with all of that comes a lot of leg work. Now, my problem beforehand, before I started losing weight, was my legs were just so fat. They were so swollen. I could barely feel my feet at times, but I could still safely handle the truck and maneuver things. But it was difficult. And after a period of maybe 1 or 2 hours, especially when I was at my heaviest, 435 pounds, I would get these severe pains in my knees, severe pains in my ankles, and it's just tough to move around the truck, and it was really tough to do my job. So that's one thing I have noticed since not only losing the weight, but starting carnivore. A lot of that swelling has went down. And I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, I'm kicking out the snacks, I'm kicking out the seed oils, the things that make me swell. But things are dramatically improving with carnivore. So I do see a benefit there for many people, even myself. So another thing I have noticed, this is just week 2, so about 13 days in, and I have lost a lot of inches. So I'm getting smaller. I mean, my neck. I'm actually getting a neck again. I don't know, maybe the lighting sucks, but I haven't seen details in my neck. And I used to have this huge chin right here. It's not really there anymore, which is amazing. Now another thing, my wife cut my hair last night, and we noticed that in the back of my head, you know, the fat man shelf you got back here, sometimes you can just sit a credit card on there. And yeah, my teenage son used to pick on me about it, and he used to put his finger back here in the back of my head just as a reminder, like, hey Dad, you need to, you know, take care of yourself a little better. And he's just playing, he doesn't mean anything by it. It's okay. But it did make me feel a certain way, like, am I just going to keep going, or am I going to fix this problem? So yeah, I need to fix it. There's another really important thing I wanted to mention. Energy levels. My energy levels are through the freaking roof. When I'm in the truck, I'm just like bouncing around. I'm in a good mood. I'm happy. I'm joking. I just want to have fun doing my job, because who doesn't want to go out and play dump truck with really expensive equipment? I mean, these trucks are hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're working on $1 million contracts, and we're doing jobs that, you know, a lot of people that are just standing on the sidelines are just like, man, I wish I was on that job, because that guy's hooked up. They're doing some work. But, you know, that just puts me at another level of big-headedness, I suppose. But it gives me a lot of confidence. And that's what I like about working with this current employer, is he's always worked with me. The last time I was in pretty good health was when I was with this employer, because he understands some aspects of his employees, and he gets them to a certain point, and then he builds them up, and then he builds them up to the next level, because he wants everybody on his team to be a team player. So when I first started on the job, it was just one of those things where I wasn't very confident at the time. I mean, I just literally not that long ago, weeks ago even, I just started losing a dramatic amount of weight, and I'm starting to get my body back. I'm starting to get a little more fit, and he was just working with that. He's been working with me on that, so that's been incredibly helpful and incredibly motivating to get me to where I am right now. Now, another thing I wanted to mention was, you know, when you get that first 100 pounds off, your libido, yeah, the libido changes. Now, maybe too much TMI, but guess what? The libido changes. Your sex drive comes back. That's awesome. I mean, especially when you're married, or just in general. I mean, it's nice to have a libido. Now, things beforehand, when I was, you know, 435 pounds, everything worked correctly. It wasn't like I had erectile dysfunction or anything. It was just I had to really get worked into the mood to do anything. So now that the libido has changed, it's, you know, kind of like me and the wife just got together for the first time, and we're just attacking each other at times. So that's fantastic. That's, you know, that's the fun part of being married, is being able to have fun with your partner and do incredibly fun things, and hopefully get out a little bit more and be more active. Now, I will be making a video later on this particular product right here. And this is a product I found at Costco. And I'm going to be making it up in a particular way that I just learned how to online. I learned it from another channel, and I believe it's like animal-based interface or something like that. But yeah, that was an interesting video. And so I'm going to be making this bacon later on, and I'm going to try to make a video just specifically around the bacon and why I picked this bacon from Costco, because I do believe it's incredibly important to pick healthy options, especially if you're going to buy store-bought stuff. So hey guys, if you like this video, please do what you do, and I'll see you in the next one.